Sunset in the jungle. Black cherry surprise with a bit of sparkle. Lavender sunset. Who says that your Valentines have to be traditionally pink and red? They can be anything that your heart desires. So grab your paints, your art supplies, whatever it is that you have on hand, even if it's a ballpoint pen, and create a little bit of fun. Love notes for friends and family. And if you could stop biting my arm, that would be lovely.
You see me giggling every time I do one of these because I never know if it's actually gone live yet. Anyway, there we go. Hi everybody. How are you doing today? It's me, Tanya. I'm hoping you're having a great day, and welcome to a little bit of arty time, playtime. If you haven't met me before, I'm Tanya. I'm a portrait artist, and when I'm procrastinating, like today, I like to hang out and do some arty stuff. And today I'm going to do some playing with hearts and making love notes. And this is something that I do every year. Hey, if this is your first time, hang out and relax, grab a cup of something, or get some art supplies. It doesn't have to be paints, it could be whatever you like. And we're going to make some heart love notes. And I like to do this every year. Now, I have to go in with a disclaimer. Disclaimer alert. I don't like Valentine's Day. I don't. But you know what I do love? I love helping people feel better. And so every year I like to do a little bit of creating heart love notes, and they're anonymous. And I gift them either to one of the care homes that is around, or I will put some in the neighborhood or under people's doors. And it's just a nice way to spread a little love and happiness. And you never know who you might be helping out. They might be having a bad day and you don't know. But also, this is a fun idea for friends and family. So let's flip the camera around. Oh, and if you have any questions, drop them in. Love to chat with you guys. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. All my content is free, and I have an awesome chat community. Just saying. Anyway, let's flip the camera around and see what's going on the desk here. Alrighty, so I have this huge, 12 by 14 sheet from Canson XL. Cheap but cheerful paper, which I love. It's got a nice tooth to it. Yes, I'm wearing my jammies. Let's just get that out of the way right off the top. Winter. Anyway, I am really messy, so I pre-gridded this. You don't have to, though. I'm really this is so intuitive. And these are just 2 by 2. They're just tiny little things. They don't have to be great big cards, but do know the more space you have, the more opportunity for details and whatnot. But I pulled out a variety of colors today. It doesn't have to be watercolors. I've got some watercolor pencils. I have pencil crayons, chalk pastel, whatever you like. But this is what I've got because, pinks are traditional. But I'm not traditional, so I like to play with some other colors. So this has some really neat, bright, strong colors. Look at that. Beautiful raspberry, burgundy, cherry red. Pretty, pretty. Foxberry, they call it. Whatever that is. They never do tell you the pigments on these. Anywho, I've got some, over the years, some collection of metallic colors that are just in their own little pan here. There's this pretty rose gold. These are lots of fun for detail, and something that I never do in my regular art because it's a little bit more, I wouldn't say precise, but it's more structured. But these are really fun at the end if you want to just get your brush really wet and just go flickita, get an old toothbrush and flick it or whatever it is you want to do. So that's what I'm playing with today. And really, I'm just going to freeform it. Here's a look at some of the colors that I have in here. And I'm not going to think about this whatsoever. I'm not even going to try to make anything, even if they're not heart-shaped, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to just get in there and play. For those of you who have joined. And hey, by the way, thank you for joining. I get so excited to do this and actually see that people show up. It's really exciting for me. I love it. For those of you who joined, is anybody joining me and doing some artsy stuff today? And whether that is doing your own hearts or if you are working on a other piece of art or creating some craft projects? What are you up to today? Let me know in the comments. I love to hear from you guys, you know? Okay. So basically, I'm just making a lot of heart-shaped blubbery type things, not really caring about them in particular. And you know what? As someone who does a lot of precise, realistic kind of work, this is really fun for the other part of my brain where I'm not thinking about it and I'm just putting things down. They're like relatively heart shaped, right? But you know what? That actually makes it kind of cool. They don't all have to be the same, they don't all have to be filled in. I'm just randomly grabbing colors here and gonna do that. I don't like that color very much. Okay, let's see. Some purpling. Purpley. Now, the really cool thing about watercolors, especially if they're wet, which I suggest in this particular case, is once you have that water going, you can start layering in the colors. And that's where you get really interesting effects. Oops, do you see what I just did? I caught my brush on the side of the tripod and it put bluebirds all over. So let's just carry on, shall we? All right. If you make a mistake, does it matter? Not really, because the whole point of this is to make something that's coming from the heart. And if it's got some spills and some lines that aren't perfect, that's actually exactly what you want to do here. What I want to do. I don't know what you want to do. You'll do your own thing. But I'm liking, ooh, look at that cherry red. I'm liking doing that because it has a lot of life when you do that, right? There's a bit of movement and there's a bit of excitement and happiness. And I think that's really fun to express. Okay, I was going to try and get these wet a bit. And what was I saying? Oh, talking about layering. So you can add different colors into some of them. Oh, that actually went kind of ombre. That's cool. And then I immediately screwed it up. But that's all right. I say stuff like that, but I don't actually mean it. I'm just kidding around. You can't really make any mistakes in these because they're just fun and free form. And the other really fun thing is I have a paper cutter, so I do not actually have to cut these all by hand because honestly, that could be a bit of a drag. I did that one year and it took forever. So now I do it like this. But this has turned into a bit of a tradition for me for someone who's really not traditional and not really into the holiday as per se. Um, like I said in the beginning, if you just joined and you didn't catch that earlier, I like to do this sort of thing because I like spreading a little bit of love and happiness to people, especially when things are really tough, right? People get really into the rabbit hole of whatever challenge they're dealing with, whether that's their own or stuff that's happening in the world. And you can forget about everything else. And you can forget that sometimes there's other people out there who are going through stuff, or there's other people out there who can shift your point of view. And how nice is it to be able to share a little bit of happiness without having any expectation of it being returned. And I think that's something that a lot of us are really remembering. And, some people need to learn that still, not need to, but are in the process of realizing that when you do things from the heart, whether that's an activity or setting an intention or working with people or working on yourself, and just focusing on that and not that it needs to be returned back or that it has to come out a particular way. Oh my gosh, there's so much freedom in it. It's incredible. I used to get so stressed out by stuff. I still do sometimes, I'm not going to lie. Like a lot of people, I get the anxiety. But I've really found that not getting so focused on stuff as a return, wow, there's a lot of freedom in it. It takes a lot of pressure off, because it's not like, oh, hey, I have to do this a particular way to get this result. No, I'm doing this, well, because I like doing it. I like sharing with people, but also I really enjoy mucking about. And like I said, and I'm not kidding, I am procrastinating my next portrait. So why not share the love with you guys? Okay, I'm just going to jump up and see what's on if anybody sent a question in. Alexandra said that's such a wonderful idea. Oh, thank you. I hope this inspires you to have a little bit of playtime too. I'm really excited so many of you joined. Wow, that's so cool. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know. I mean, I'm always happy to talk about the supplies or what I'm doing or the work that I'm doing if you have any questions. This sheet is very red. Usually I will do a lot of non-traditional colors like blue and green and stuff. Whoop. Is that even heart-shaped? There we go. Kind of. So I'm probably going to do another sheet of these because I think there's more residents in the care home than whatever this is. Me and the math, we're not the best of friends. But that's okay. I am very good at other non-mathy stuff. Okay. I don't even know. How close are we to Valentine's Day anyways? Don't you love when you lose track of the days? Gosh, it's so much fun. I'm really having fun this week because I worked way too hard last week and now I'm burnt out. So I'm taking some quiet time and just chilling out and doing this sort of thing, which is really fun because I get to play with a lot of other things that I don't normally play with, and art supplies too. Oh, I've got a couple pieces left. Let's see. Let's try this cherry red. Is that red? No, that's black. Let's do this one. If you haven't seen me talk about this before, I want to share this with you. Now, I don't know if you can still get them. I think so. This is a group called Prima Marketing. I am not sponsored, by the way. This is just one of the first watercolor palettes I ever got. And for anybody that's just starting and you're budget conscious, I'm going to share with you that when you do watercolors, one of the primary reasons most people quit is because they either have a poor quality paper that doesn't give you the same results as what you see in the tutorial. So you get fed up and you're like, well, mine doesn't look anything like theirs. It's not your skill level, friend. It's your materials. So if you get a good mid-level paper like this old chestnut here, this is the Canson XL, relatively cheap, very versatile, high amount of sizing. So the water sits up high. It doesn't absorb as quickly as you would have in other papers. And a decent quality paints. Like either invest in some really good Daniel Smith primaries or get something like this from Prima Marketing, which is not professional, but the pigment quality in these is just phenomenal. Anywho, that's my non-sponsored buy one of these if you want them thing. Ooh, cherry red. Look at that. That's pretty. Let's do another one of those. Oh my gosh, these are so Valentine-y looking. You're probably laughing at me going, like, isn't that the point? But for me, no, not really. I just like to play with them and see what happens. Okay. That's fun. It's like a orangey red color. Blooby, blooby, blooby. Let's make some blobs. Woo! Let's make blobs, but not knock the tripod off the table. Tripod's being fussy. Please bear with us. Do you want some elevator music while I'm doing my technical shit in the background? La 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 la. Fixing tripod live on air. La 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 la. There we go. Ta-da! Gotta be quick on the feet when you go live. You never know what's gonna happen. Anywho, I'm still here. I'm making hearts for you. La 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 la. Now I'm gonna have Girl from Ipanema in my head all day, and you might too. Ha 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 ha. Okay, 2 more left, and we are done with the basic outlay. Okay, now comes the fun time. Oops, my finger got stuck. I'm going to put some water in some of these because many people who do watercolor professionally hate the dreaded bloom where you put water in and the colors sort of separate and you get what I call the sunflower broccoli effect. A lot of people hate that. I like it. I play with it a lot. So I'm going to just do that. Now you can see that I am being very loose with this, right? I'm not doing anything tight perfect hearts, anything like that. I'm just mucking about because I kind of like that style of it. Okay, let's see. Put some in there. Heart-ish. All right. Oh, I missed one. Okay, like that. All right, now here comes the fun part. Now we're going to start layering up the colors randomly because that's where we're going to get some fun stuff happening. Now, this is actually Silver Sujolite by Daniel Smith, so it's going to dry. It has a lot of mica in it. Full voice change in the middle of my stream. But the mica is sparkly, and sparkly is fun, especially when we're doing things that are to make people happy. Now, do you see how you can sort of just do hearts on hearts with hearts in the middle or whatever it is you want to do? It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, a bit of that. Now, I want to grab some of these sparkly colors. These are very sheer. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly try and get some paint in here while things are still kind of moist. I know everybody hates this word. What's the hate on for this word moist? Good grief. Get your heads out of the gutter, man. We're just talking about liquids. Anyway, I want to get some color layering happening here before things dry up because that's where you get the fun effects. So blobs, drops of water, some line work, random. That's the whole point of it. We're just doing it without thinking, adding color. And the more you add color and some texture, the more interesting these get. And, it's one of those things where you can create something that's actually quite beautiful and to some people very precious just by doing it quickly because it's the love and the intention and the energy that you are putting into it that's going to come through. And that's what's important here because that's what these are for after all. So when I get these all done and they dry up and I cut them all out, I'm going to share them in a post and then I will somewhere close to Valentine's Day because I know a lot of people get really stressed out around Valentine's Day and feel sad and lonely. That's why I like to do this, right? Just because if there's someone feeling sad and lonely and then they get an anonymous Valentine, how fun is that, right? Gets the nervous system all sparked up and feeling excited or maybe get a little bit nostalgic for something. Doesn't matter. A little bit of something, something. But it makes me feel good. I am one of those people that I really, really love. I love giving gifts to people. It just makes me really happy. I don't know why. I'm just wired like that. I'd rather be giving them. Anyway, that's that part. Ooh, that's got some bubbles. Let's add some more. Okay. Sort of this peachy color. Ooh, that's fun. Love happy little surprises. Look how this orange, she said, well, it's off camera. Look at this orange and lavender together. Isn't that beautiful? It's really fun when it's unplanned. I'm going to add some more details around. Make sure things are somewhat recognizable, heart-shaped-ish. Blue or gold accent? Let me know in the comment which one you think. And also, if you feel like chatting, ask a question or tell me where you're from. I'm really curious. This is something about Substack that I am really digging is that people are from all over the world and you can do a live like this and suddenly you're talking to people from a completely different place, not even in the same time zone. And I think that's really fun being able to talk to people that you wouldn't talk to otherwise. Neato. Oh, that turned out nice. No, that is really pretty. I love when they surprise you like that. Okay, folks are feeling shy. So I think, wow, That's very red and pink. I think we might need to add a little turquoise just to have some fun, because I want to spark it up a bit. All right, a little bit of turquoise. I'm going to be trying to be mindful that the turquoise on some of these can make mud if I'm not careful. So I'm going to be quite sparing where it goes. But also, basic color theory, right? What happens when we add red and blue? We get purple. So some of these are going to make a beautiful purple color. Oops. I'm going to get it in the right color here. I like when I get these layered effects. More layering makes it interesting. One of the fun things about this is I gifted one to somebody a couple years ago, and somehow it ended up in our local post office and it's hanging up there. And every time I go in there, I see it and I'm like, "Aw, that's so cool." Bringing a little bit of happiness to people that look at it. How fun is that, knowing that you had a little hand in that? Yeah, this does not look very heart-shaped, so we'll just kind of do that. Oh, that one might need some help. Okay. Now, I'm gonna add a little bit more of the turquoise here and there, and then I'm gonna zoom down. I'm gonna take the camera off the tripod so that you can see some of the details up close. All right. So I think now I'm not somebody who ever had kids. I have no regrets about that at all, but I do enjoy watching the kiddos doing art because it's a lot of fun. So I think this would be a really fun thing to do with kids because there is absolutely no worries about making anything perfect. And so no matter what they do, it's going to be just right. And I think that's really an important lesson for a lot of people to learn, whether that's kids or the kids in your heart, because a lot of us really get stuck on perfectionism. And hey, it makes sense, right? You're on Instagram or you're on social media, even on Substack, and the talent of artists is mind blowing. Like the things that people create every day, I'm just like, wow, how did you do that? That is so gorgeous. And it's exciting and I love it. But if you get into that space of looking at people that do things that are similar to what you do, and then you start comparing yourself, oh, that can be tough. So I think it's really important to learn that expressing yourself as you are, who you are in the moment is just right. That's exactly what it is. You can't replicate what other people are doing. And people don't want to see you do somebody else's work. They want to see you doing what you do, who you are, what your style is. And so if you create just by having fun, you will eventually learn what your style is. And then it will just creep into all your work naturally, and people will love you for it. So, just saying that as a little in the middle of making hearts PSA. Okay. Oh, I see. I think this turquoise was a nice idea. That looks quite pretty in a lot of these. All right. There we go. I'm going to bring the camera down. We're going to look at these, and then I'm going to let them dry up a bit. And I like this turquoise on here. Ooh. Okay, that doesn't look very heart-shaped. So on this one, we're just going to do a heart on it. Like that. Now, do you see how the yellow and the green are running together here? Oh, you can't. It's too far away. Trust me, though, the yellow and the green are running together and they look really pretty. Okay. Let's look at these up close. I hope you can see that. I have a lot of sun in my eyes, so I can't actually see. Oh, no, it is the dreaded visitor. Excuse me, we are not allowed on here when I'm doing the work. Thank you. Right. So, see how fun it is when things start to layer up. And this doesn't have to be the end, you know. Once this is dried, I can get the gold and add gold accents. I could grab some pens. I don't want to use anything that's going to rub off just because I don't know who's going to get these. That might need a little work, that one. Um, and keep going. Now, you see how I splotched water all over, like both by mistake, but then also I did it intentionally. Can you see the gold shine on there? So some of these are going to have a lot of sparkle when they're done. That's something that I really like to do. Look at that. See how the colors blended together? That's what I was talking about earlier about layering it up. So you get a lot of variety. Okay. So there we go. That is making some little love notes. Now you can see my grid here. So these are 2x2 squares. And what I'm going to do is cut them out when they're dry. And then I will put a little note on the back of all of them. And then I'm going to gift them anonymously over the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 days maybe. And how fun is that? So there you go. I hope that inspired you today to get out and play and grab your art supplies and have a little bit of fun. Enjoy some color, feel creative, and do something fun for yourself.
Okay, here comes the most fun part. Whee! I love making a mess. It's the most fun.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I'm Tanya, and I'm right in front of my tripod. There we go. I'm Tanya from Tanya QC Art, and I'm really glad you hung out with me today. I like to do these lives spontaneously. Sometimes I'll send out an email to people and let them know I'm going live, but I'm more of a dealing with some health stuff sometimes. So when I'm having a good day like today and it's beautiful out, which is really rare on the West Coast in the winter, I'm so happy to just come live and share some things with you. So today we made hearts and we did them in watercolor, but you can use any art supplies that you have to just create something from the heart for fun. Doesn't even have to be Valentine's. You can do this any time of the year. And I hope this inspires you to play and to share a little bit of love to those around you. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys on the next live. And oh yeah, don't forget to join, subscribe. All my content is free and I have a really awesome community chat with cool people in it. Fun to connect. Anyway, enough self promo. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.